You are an ancestor in the making, and your ancestors are calling you at this time to connect further, deeper, and to allow them to walk beside you, to walk behind you, to elevate you, to support you, and to show you the way as you navigate and embark in your own life's journey. Now, as we move forward in this video, I want to take a moment to thank my own ancestors for the ability to be able to show up here today and the lives that they have lived through, all the challenges and the hurdles that they have overcome, all the celebrations and the loving moments that they have lived through and loved through and laughed through and breathed through so that I could be here and exist today. And thank you to your ancestors for allowing you to show up to this video and to learn how to connect, reconnect, or to deepen your relationship with your ancestors today. I hope you will take a moment to pause and give gratitude to your own ancestors, not only as you watch this video, but daily, because this is a dynamic relationship that is occurring, whether you believe it or not. They're all around you. And as we enter this season of Scorpio, as we come to Halloween, All Hallows Eve, Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, and the All Souls procession, this time is so potent and powerful because the veil is so much thinner between the human world and the spirit world. And if you really want to connect and to deepen that connection, now's the time, baby. And I really do feel that at this time, collectively, right, we could use the support ever more. Why not? Why not walk into every room with all of your ancestors behind you, with you? You know what I mean? And that's not to say that you have to know exactly who all of these people were, all of their lives, their names, their birth dates, all those things. If you don't have access to that information, if it is lost, if it is not something that you have looked up, that's okay. You can still connect with them simply by asking spirit, right? By asking the universe, by calling out to your ancestors. Ancestors, I would like to connect with you further, or I would like to start a connection with you, or I would like to deepen that connection with you, right? This is a very simple way to begin. This video is a simple way to begin, right? You're feeding that curiosity, you're placing your attention on what you would like, and the universe will begin to show up accordingly. And you also, if you do have this information about them, you can, look up who they were, learn about their story, learn about their lives, right? See what lessons you can learn from those lives. If you have relatives that are alive that you can connect with and ask about your previous ancestors along those lineages, it is such a beautiful way to connect with those living relatives, to learn the stories that they knew about those people. And you can also do things like make an altar. At this time too, the tradition of Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, is to create an altar that honors the ancestors at this time and allows them to be able to cross over to connect. And it's such a beautiful way to remember your ancestors and can help shift maybe a perspective on death as a way to see it as a natural part of our existence as human beings, and that after death, it doesn't really stop. Now, in terms of creating an altar space, if you are looking to do something like that, I highly encourage you to look for photos of your ancestors that you might have. You may even consider, drawings or paintings of them, making those yourself, get really creative if you want, or keep it really simple. You can also work with candles and or different things to burn like sage and palo santo or copal. Those are all very beautiful ways to clear energies. Palo santo can also bring in new energy to bless the space, to bless the altar, to bless your connection. The candles are beautiful ways to light the path, right? For that bridge, for that connection. And you might also consider using different decorations, using things like food, placing gifts, things that you know that your ancestors may have loved, right? Now, you also want to consider where in your space can you have this? Is this something that you want in your home? Is this something you want in a private space? Do you want people to see it as they come in and out? Do you want an altar in your workspace? Especially if you have, a family business, something that's been in the family for generations, and or you want to invite or bring your culture and your ancestors into your workplace as a way to support that endeavor. I do encourage it and encourage you to create a sacred space for that to live, maybe during just this time, or it's something that lives throughout the year as a way to honor and respect those that have come before and given you this life to a certain degree. I also invite you to see yourself as an ancestor in the making, because you are. One day you will be somebody else's ancestor, and you will be in the spirit world supporting them in their life here. And it's such a beautiful way to feed the reciprocity of this life-death cycle, and also being able to support generations to come even after you have left this human existence. And I also invite you to see yourself as an altar, because you carry the blood, the DNA, right? The spirit, the soul of the lineage that you come from, or lineages that you come from. And so in this way, your human form is like a walking altar, right? It's a standing, a sitting, a lying down altar. And so if you can think about that, and maybe you're not into making physical altar spaces, but maybe you think about how can you adorn yourself in different ways? How can you pour into yourself in different ways? How can you better love on yourself in different ways? How can you more fully express, right? More fully be in the energy of your soul, more aligned, more spirit-led, grounded in this here and now, with the knowing and the understanding that you are connected to more than just you in this moment, to more than just the friends and the family or the chosen family that you have around you. You can walk into every space with all of your ancestors, all of your guides, all of your angels, the energies of the universe, alternate reality yous, right? Alternate dimension yous. You can walk into spaces with all of that behind you and beside you, right? And moving with this energy can sometimes feel quite large, but also incredibly supportive, incredibly encouraging, and deeply connecting, right? Connecting you to something more meaningful outside of just this human existence. And I highly encourage shifting your perspective around these ideas of being an ancestor, being an altar, if you've not considered these perspectives before, to open your mind to them, especially now, in this time. There's so much going on in the world that is causing chaos and harm, and can shape the way that you and or others around you might see the world, might see moving forward. And if we can utilize the lessons that our ancestors have lived through, if we can utilize the lives that they've lived through, if we can utilize their support, even on a spiritual level, it can make such a difference in how we move in this world and how we see the world, and the examples that we can set for those around us who may need an example, right? Who may need a beam of light, who may need to feel or to see or to know that something more meaningful and deep does exist, that there is still goodness in this world, and that there are people that are looking to impact this world in a different way, that are deeply connected to the spiritual realm, that are willing to walk into spaces with all of their ancestors and guides and angels with them, that are able to do so proudly, unapologetically. We don't have to hide our spiritual selves. We don't have to hide our ancestors. We don't have to hide our lineages. We get to proudly be who we are in every space, in every moment, at every time, without fear. And this can be a way of being if we practice it in our own lives, with our own selves, with our own ancestral connections, and then out into the world consistently, hopefully, fearlessly, courageously, you know. As you embark on your practice of connection, I also invite you to learn more about how you can honor each connection individually and to take it slow. You know, if you already live a very busy life, or you have a lot going on in general, maybe you already have a lot of people around you that you are serving in your life or connected to, and maybe it feels like a stressful time. Maybe it might feel like a chaotic time, or a burdensome time. You might consider just starting with one ancestral connection and really learning how to foster that connection as deeply and profoundly as it feels to do so. And when you feel that call to connect with another one, then do so. And build out your ancestral team, if you will, gradually. I also want to make a note about connecting with ancestors that maybe there was negative energy around, you know, harmful energy around, hurtful energy, painful energy, abusive energy. Be mindful. Be mindful, be careful, be discerning. Some connections may infuse some of that energy into your realm if those energies haven't been healed and cleared within your lineage, and that might not be something that you are meant to do. The connection that you have can be what you want it to be, but they do require work, right? Energy, attention, time. And so if you are connecting with certain energies in your lineage, certain people in your lineage that maybe energy wasn't cleared around, I just caution you against taking those on at this time, especially if you are feeling, you know, stressed or busy, or things are just shifting a lot in your life at this moment. It may not be the time to introduce that energy per se. I would suggest building out your ancestral team where the energies do feel good to you to connect with or to deepen, and build that out, build out that support system. And then, you know, check back in and see, okay, you know, this other person is a part of our lineage, and maybe, you know, it's time to introduce them, you know, whatever that is for you. I encourage you to follow that and to follow your intuition and to sit with your guides, to sit with your ancestors and really commune and see, you know, is this the right move? Is this connection one that you need to continue? And I also want to encourage you at this time to take moments either in meditation or in prayer or simply in communing. And when I use the word communing, I often really just mean spending time. That can be in a number of ways depending on how you're connecting with your ancestors. You know, you might simply just be sharing and speaking with them. and speaking with their spirit selves, maybe a photograph or a representation of who they are, and sharing, sharing about your life, sharing about what's going on for you, asking them questions about their life, about, lessons that they can teach you, or anything that they may need so that you can continue maintaining the relationship between you and them. You might also consider even something simply like just sitting and writing or doing creative work or doing your actual work around them as a piece of that communing, right? Living your life in a way that there is this knowing that they're always there, they're always with you, and just being very present with that feeling of knowing and sensing and seeing like, okay, ancestors, you are with me, I am with you in this moment, let us commune together. These moments of absolute presence, I would say, meditation, prayer, and communing are such beautiful and powerful ways for you to stay in connection with your ancestors and to stay in alignment with what is your soul's calling. Because the more you dive into these relationships, the more you pour into them and you are present with them, the more they can align with you and where you're going, the more they can know what support it is that you need, and they can show up in your life accordingly. Please comment below if there are any other ways that you have found to connect, reconnect, or deepen your connection with your ancestors, because there are so many other ways, and you may have found some that are very unique to you that might inspire someone else's journey in connection. And if you'd like to connect further, please check the description box below. You can book a free 15-minute clarity call and see what services that I offer might align with your soul's calling at this time and as you move forward. And with that, I will see you in the next video.